Glory to Achana! The Great Committee has decided that the hard-working people of Achana need a trustworthy and robust mode of personal transportation, so that they can get to the factories in time and push our socialist economy forward. On sturdy wheels, the country and the people will surpass the capitalistic West, as their people's minds are being weakened by unnecessary amenities and luxuries and the stride for personal wealth. Consequently, all foreign car companies operating under false flag within our well-protected borders have been banned from the great country of Achana. A state-mandated car will be in production soon at the factory, the Fabrika Samochodów Achana, or short FSA. FSA is one of two backbones to our mobility industry, next to Wadstug Inżynieria Mechaniczna, who take care of the more utilitarian needs. Every Achanan will be able to be in command of an incredible Achanan automobile, and Achanan people will rise to unforeseen prosperity. So let's not waste any more time and jump right into it. Welcome to a mini-campaign in Automation, the car company Tycoon game. We are in control of the socialist enterprise FSA, aiming to provide the solution to the mobility of goods and people in the wonderful country of Achana. I will use a bit of Polish for some naming purposes. Please be lenient with me when I butcher your language. It's my revenge for the fact that my girlfriend's Polish part of the family kills me once a year at the dinner table. So the committee gave us the funds, 50 million, and the infrastructure to start big, and to provide affordable cars to the not-so-wealthy people that propel our economy to new heights. Thanks to the committee, we can operate in an almost monopolistic environment. There's no real competition as of now, as long as the capitalistic West can be kept away. So our robust and affordable cars can spread over the country. The people really doesn't have any other choice other than buying what is available. Also, our friends in Dalua don't have a car industry at all. So that may be a good way to get some of the foreign money into our country. In the future, maybe we also want to get some of the lovely Western Dolorinos and convince them with the great results of our engineering skills there. So let's get our superior socialist brains to work on the motor of the people. But what's the name? The committee has named the project ZPKPOTO, that's short for, Lord give me strength, Zatwierdzony przez Komitet Pojazd do Osobistego Transportu Osób. Oof, that means committee-sanctioned people's personal transport vehicle. This body will do the job. It has plenty of options to make it our own. We'll take the 2.6 meter chassis, the shortest one of course, because remember, our country is not rich, resources are limited, the smaller the car the less it will cost. The committee has provided a medium-sized factory already, so steel panels are an option. But obviously a leather chassis is the superior technology compared to a monocoque. I mean, what capitalistic language is that even? Two solid axles with leaf springs are solid, as the name says, and easy to manufacture, just how we like it. A little less quality to top it off and to make it easier to produce, and there we have it, the backbone of Achana's future mobility. We'll take the 4-door saloon version, and then let's use the big hammer and bend some panels. There we go. And then for the paint, for the first car, the car of the people, the proletariat, we use a bright and cheerful grey. This will go nicely with a very functional design language, which we'll work on later. And it also gave the car its nickname, the Ojo, the donkey. So then, the visual design, it will be a timeless classic. We hired the best designers and came up with this. The workhorse of our proud nation will be a sturdy inline-4 engine, max capacity 1.6 liters, but for the beginning let's reduce bore and stroke to result in a 1 liter engine. Obviously for the top end we choose push rods because it needs to be strong and reliable. Again, always I reduce the quality because we have limited technical experience in the country and we need to reduce production, engineering times and cost as much as possible. For the bottom end we only choose the lightest components. We want to save raw material where possible. A very basic single carburetor will do the job and helps to keep cost low. And while we want to preserve Ahana's oil reserves, the more fuel efficient options are just a bit too expensive. The juice that powers our nation is low octane and available anywhere, and unleaded. Basic headers, one single muffler, cost cutting measures again, and then we have a basic engine which I will further now optimize for optimum power and reliability. And there we have it. Look at how much more torque we got out of this thing, and still we have 25 horsepower. And there we have our magnificent piece of engineering. Then let's work on the mechanical parts of the car. And yes, it will be mechanical. Power to the people. They can make their own choices. We don't have automatics available in Ahana anyway. 3 gears, manual, with an open differential. We'll do the fine-tuning later. And then rubber probably is also quite limited within the country, so it needs to last long, have a long life. And yeah, let's make them cheaper, smaller. For the brakes, we don't have any fancy brake pads. Just glue up some asbestos and put it into drums where it cannot get out. Let's use also small drums as possible, and later we will tune it so that we can save a lot of money on the brakes as well. Obviously no aerodynamics, we focus on cooling though for more reliability. 5 seats, and our people don't need any amenities. It would just distract them from their tasks or soften them, so basic interior with no entertainment will do. And in the safety department, as there will be almost no other cars on the road other than FSAs, there's also no need to protect the passengers from other heavy and dangerous cars. We can do the bare minimum, and that means rely on a strong Ahana steel, and that will be more than enough. And for the suspension, we are partly underway on unpaved roads, so it needs to be nice and soft. No eggs shall break during transport. And then before we do the fine-tuning, let's focus on reducing quality or making the car cheaper and more affordable for the general public. Everything down to -4, which will save us around 10% in material costs, production units and 20% in engineering. Still, we are scoring pretty well. It might be that we don't really have competition. But yeah, we can do better with the very strong foundation that this car obviously has. We can extract a little bit more. And with the engineering done, take a look at these stats. So bad. But behold, observe the miracle of supply and demand. We look excellent in basically all of the large demographics, at least in Ahana. In the Lua we don't sell yet because the fuel is not available there, but we'll tackle the Lua. And therefore we need another trim, and that's not only for the Lua but also for the wealthier part of the population. Of course everybody's equal, but there's a group of people who needs to lead, and that means we need another trim which is more luxurious and even more powerful than this one, and it's called the Commissage. We'll aim it at the premium market. And first of all, we need to give it a different color, of course. So the Commissage is in a very dark gray, almost black, and it will get a bigger engine. So we clone our variant, get the 1.3, and yeah, let's upbore it. We don't do a lot, we just adjust it so that it works a little better. 92 RON, that should make it available in all of the countries that have, as you see here, that have leaded fuel. mighty 33 horsepower. And we surpass 90 kilometers an hour with that. The major difference is a more luxurious interior. So in here we need to switch around a little bit. Let's give it just 4 seats. Standard, very luxurious interior. And a radio, the only one that we can get, a very luxurious one. And it will, even though it's luxurious, it will probably be locked to the only available channel, 100% without socialist propaganda, of course. And yeah, let's see how much more comfortable and prestigious this one is. I've also rebadged it accordingly, so that everybody knows that there's a very important person inside that vehicle. And look at how green. It's so good. And it will sell in the Lua because there's nothing else on the market. Really good. Alright, so we need to set up the production and our factories. But first engineering. The factory will take 12 months to get up and running, so we have some time to make this cheap and efficient to produce. Obviously, the manual work of our people will only make the cars better, so let's engineer it in a way that it can be built by hand easily. And as always, resources are limited, so let's save some material. Let's invest also in reliability. People don't need to learn too much, and still we can optimize it even more. And there we go, 12 months, 1 million, pretty good. Similar approach for the engine. 800k, 12 months, perfect. And let's get into our factory. We have a small one for now, but a larger plot, so in case we need more, we can do it. Let's aim for now for 1 shift. We will adjust that later. And obviously we need to be cheap, so yep, no money. And also, yeah, it would take quite a long time to fill it, so let's take everybody who is willing to work and put them into our factory. 6 months, so at 1 shift we should be done in 12 months with the hiring process. And now the engines are already quite cheap, but we need to save more money. And we need to be really efficient. So quality control is basically eyeballing it if there's all pistons inside and so. Unfortunately, I cannot completely deactivate it. Other than that, let's optimize and save a few SWAT. We have good tooling quality for a low slowdown. But let's see what the engine factory first is doing, and then we maybe upgrade also our engine factory. So car factory also aim for 1 shift for now. No money, no quality. We need to pay them a little bit because this factory is quite large. Let's quickly finish this up and then see where we land. So the forecaster says that we are really profitable, but we don't sell a lot. We have a quite low production price, but I will also not include the tooling cost and not the engineering cost, because this car will be so superior, it will run for a long time. I don't really care about the first 10 years. So let's calculate like this, and then we have a much lower cost here, so I can really see if the production itself, if the car pays off, and I don't care about the initial project. So with a cost of 3k for the proletariat, we can already make a nice profit on this car and basically keep maintenance and the company running. And for the commissage, yeah, this will also go to the Lua and so we can milk them a little bit more, but still I don't want to completely get unreasonable prices like 30k, so let's go with 10k and see where this leads us. Maybe we can still sell a few also into Ahana, but we still also have a lot of room to scale up our production. That's good. And now let's do some fine-tuning. Yeah, we need to get the engine factory up a little bit. Let's take a look at this number here actually, basically by not spending so much on tooling. Also need to take a look at our budget here. Let's go for 25 million. And what does the engine cost? 22 million. That's probably a little bit on the high side. Yeah. I think like this it can work. Our cars have become a little bit more expensive, so our margins are a little bit worse, but we saved a lot on tooling. So this should be plenty. Project is looking good. We are there in 12 months. We will be up to 1 shift within 12 months as well. which is more than we need. Currently need 0.8, 0.9, so that's good. And then we have a total cost of 38 million, and our funding by the government is 50, so we don't need that loan, which is also very good. And then we still have about 10 million in the bank left to keep the headquarter and the propaganda going. Let's sign it off. And yeah, talking about propaganda, other people call it marketing. I'd like to mostly promote, of course, the incredible reliability of our cars. We have currently 2 marketing slots available with our level 2 headquarters, so we can spend a little bit there. In the Lua we also just do the same, even though it would make more sense to advertise the prestige, but we don't want to advertise luxuries and things like that. We need to advertise the strength of our cars. We got pretty high awareness from the start, because obviously the government has built the dealerships all over the country already for us. Alright, we have set up our propaganda campaign, mostly posters and radio ads. So let's wait this 1 year until we start production. Let's go 6 months first, and we already have plenty of pre-orders for our commissage trim for the luxury version. Probably all going to the Lua. We have FSA and WIM. We are selling more than them currently. They mostly, as you see, have pickups, a utility-focused company. And we have the commissage and the proletariat, and 230 go into the Lua. And it looks like the committee is already ordering them really nicely also in Achana. So really good. Also some domestic requests for the commissage. The general public is not yet buying them. We are still quite a bit away. But now in July we got the first pre-orders also from the general public. Let's take a look. Yeah, the proletariat only goes to Achana. Exactly how I wanted it to be, because of the fuel that's not available in the Lua. So let's take a look at the markets. Monthly sales data. So this is the Achanan market. Basically selling into each category, even into luxury. And not selling into the utility market, because that's covered by Vim. And for the Lua, we also basically sell everywhere, even into the pickup market, because Vim doesn't have leaded fuel, or what? Probably. Yeah, but they are also selling really nicely. The wonders of having basically a monopoly. Awesome. So let's move on until we start production. Why are people cancelling the pre-orders? They don't have any other choice. Other people are so desperate to get their hands on this car. Why are they returning their pre-orders? What do they want to buy instead? Horses? Or are the returns just from people dying on the fields and in the factories? I'm pretty sure the committee at least makes sure that nobody's fleeing the country, so I guess we'll never know. It remains a mystery. And there we are, just before the start of production. We have 3,000 pre-orders of the proletariat, more than 2,000 of the commissage, and we have completed engineering and the factories are ready. Still have 7 million in the bank, and the moment of truth is awaiting. Alright, let's do a little bit of a test drive with one of the first prototypes. Looks like the proletariat badge already fell off, but yeah, no problem. Look at the speed, going flat out now. First gear, uphill. Excellent. Very comfortable ride here. All of these quite bumpy roads. Yeah, I think it turned out exactly how I wanted it to be. Not powerful, a little bit noisy. But of course easy to drive. What a beautiful map this is. So this is the mod Polish Roads for BeamNG. Absolutely beautiful work on all of the buildings, on the road detailing, on the surface. absolutely wonderful. Also a lot of attention went into sound design. So you hear animals and all of the wildlife. It's really, really immersive. Absolutely wonderful little neighborhood that we're going through here right now. And if you actually have been to Poland, you recognize so many things, like these telephone poles here. They're everywhere. So it's actually really, you know that somebody has worked on that who loves the country. And yeah, now going uphill, speed is dropping massively. Second gear, let's go back 1 gear, first gear. Yeah, that's more appropriate. Yeah, you can discover the slowness in this car. Perfect for admiring the map and landscape and just driving around a little bit. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Let's floor it down here. Ignore the wind turbine over there. So I think it goes a little bit better in BeamNG than in automation. So we are already up to 70 kilometers an hour. Almost reaching 80 at the end of the straight here. Full on brakes, nothing locks up. Very good. Perfect anti-lock braking system. Yeah, pretty happy with how this turned out. Hope you like it as well. But now back to the office and back to seeing how this actually does. Boom! Big profits, 1 million. We are still a little bit understaffed, but this will go away pretty soon. Yeah, can we reduce the pre-orders? Let's keep an eye on this. Or do we need more people in the factories? It's not really going down quickly, which means we will need more people. And probably also we have some, we have huge delivery delay penalties. So we need to really upgrade our production a little bit. Let's go 40% more. It will take a while until we get the people into the factories, of course. Oh no, we have a quality issue. Who would have guessed that? A decision needs to be made. It's a small issue with a medium discovery chance. 3,400 cars are affected, so almost all of the production so far, I guess. But yeah, what should we do? I mean, we cannot really acknowledge that there has been issues in our glorious factories, right? Do we really care about reputation and prestige if there's nobody else to challenge us? I don't think so. Look at our awesome prestige and reputation already, even though we are building these crap cars. So everything's going super well. And I don't really care about any issues in production. What could happen? A wheel less on the car or what? Oh no, another quality issue. Again, small and medium. Another 2,000 cars. Yeah, who cares? By now we really have some deliveries actually of the proletariat, not just pre-orders. Yeah, so far we only delivered the Commissage. Oh god. What do we have here? Oh, it's a production issue in the engine factory. Small issue, high chance. No. Public has discovered an issue from the engine factory. The cars were still fine, of course. A little bit of a reputation and prestige damage. Nothing we can do. And nothing our propaganda can't fix. Company reputation already is increasing again. No problem at all. And we didn't even take a hit. Yeah, still our production is not up to levels that we would like to see. But I think that's also pretty realistic. that we are just not being able to keep up with production. Oh no! Public has discovered a quality issue. A little bit of reputation and prestige damage, oh god. And another issue, but this one just is very small, a very small issue with a low chance, so let's do nothing. Okay, now at least we are meeting the demand, basically. I wonder if all of these news about quality is coming from Western saboteurs. The cars are obviously more than fine. Look at how well they sell. I can promise you the saboteurs will be dealt with. We trust in our production process and we carry on undeterred. But there are now quite some rumors about some big events that are happening in the world. And as we move on into January, we have news on the radio.
This is Aktualności Radio Ludowe Achane. Good evening, people of our prosperous motherland Achana. There are big news today. Kronagard, the Great Committee has uncovered that the prosperous 31% of the population does already approve of and is subscribed to our totally unpropagandistic news channel. But this also means that the inferior 69% of the population isn't. The Great Committee has indicated that appropriate measures like providing educational programs will be taken, but the expected behavior is that this group of people will change their mind without resistance in order to witness the glorious future of our country. Bazara, Dalua is opening their borders to Fuinia. The capitalistic West is invading the land of our friends in the East. The people is being softened by unnecessary amenities and luxury. We need to protect ourselves, our friends in the world, and the poor people in the capitalistic West who are mere victims to their governments. But our industry shall be prepared and ready for economic battle. Glory to Achana. We now stand for the national anthem.